I've been thinking about how we usually respond in times of trouble and we feel like God has abandoned us or has forgotten about us. And I think that when we accuse God, that the only thing that is able to remedy and to turn those accusations in our hearts is if we were to meditate on what He has said about Himself in His Word. And I think that will lead us to pursue Him rather than walking away. I have tried it, and now I want us to try it together.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to what I'm calling episode 0.5 of Walking with Jesus. This is not an official episode, but I was thinking that it might be odd to come out of nowhere and start talking, or maybe not, but for me, it felt a bit weird to get on here and start sharing certain things without giving a little bit of background in terms of who am I and where I come from, and so on, just so that everyone watching or listening will have an idea of who is speaking to them or who I am. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions about myself. And yeah, I guess the thing to say is that, like, if you have any more questions in terms of what you'd like to get to know about me, you're more than welcome to put them in the comment section, and I will respond to some of them, or I'll make a more in-depth video sometime in the future. What is my name? My name is Oarabetse Khumedi. I have two middle names, but you're going to have to buy me a drink first to get to them. But yeah, my name is Oarabetse. There's a whole story of why my mom named me that, but the shorter version is that I am the youngest after three boys. So I have three older brothers. So my mom really wanted a little girl, and that was me. So that's why she named me Oarabetse. Most people in my life call me Betty. It came up in high school. My big brother actually gave me that name, and it stuck. And it stuck since. Sometimes I meet people and they're just like, "What's your name?" I'm like, Warabetsi. And then they meet the old people in my life and then they start calling me Betty, and it gets out of hand. So yeah, hence Instagram handle being Black Betty. There's a story behind that I will tell another day. And where am I from? I am from Kroonstad in the Free State, born and bred, right in the Free State. That's kind of crazy that I never left because I still live in the Free State, but we'll get to that. Yeah, I was born and bred in Kroonstad. From baby to matric, I lived with my parents in Kroonstad up until I moved for varsity. So I currently live in Bloemfontein, still in the Free State. I literally moved 2 hours from home. I came in 2013 when I came to study for varsity. So I came to study a Bachelor of Accounting, right? So I had applied for 2 degrees when I came to study, and I applied initially for a Bachelor in Accounting. Yeah, Bachelor of Accounting, a BAc. And my second choice was LLB. Now thinking about it, I'm just like, how did I ever think that was going to work out? But yeah, that is what initially, and then I got in for both of them. I went for my first option, which was BAc. And I knew in my first semester that I don't want to. I said, I've made a mistake. I take it back. Can we start over? But there are no do overs. And I told my parents, and they said, no, you've already done your first semester and it's going so well. Just keep at it. So I kept at it for another year and a half. So I did BAc for 2 years up until I shifted. I moved over to a different degree, different faculty altogether. So I moved from the EMS faculty to humanities, where I studied and finished my Bachelor of Arts in language practice, my dream degree. Oh my word, I had the best time studying my degree, met the most amazing people. I studied a Bachelor of Arts with specialization in language practice, and my majors were language practice, which included editing, text editing, interpreting, and translation. And then I majored also in English literature, and I accidentally majored in communication sciences. So I graduated from my degree in 2017. So what do I do? All right, I work in higher education. I like to call myself a shaper of young minds, but officially my title is a content and curriculum designer for a first year seminar. It's a transition module. And basically, what I do is that I am responsible for designing the curriculum, which includes the assessment. So basically, content and the assessments for this module that all first years need to take at our institution to transition them from high school into university. Yeah, so like I said, I design the content, write the content, I design the assessment, the rubric. Why my whole job profile? Because it's starting to give hire me. Okay, but please hire me. Yeah, babala. I'm kidding, but yeah, that is basically what I do, and I think I enjoy it. I think it's very structured, but also very creative, and I enjoy working with students a lot, more than I care to admit, actually. But yes, so that is what I do. That is my day job. Um, I am an extrovert. I want to say ambivert, but I'm an extrovert because I was hanging out with a friend today and she said, "Yeah, you're a different kind of extrovert. You're asking white people their names in the mall type extrovert." So I'm done fighting it. But I'm an extrovert who loves being in her house and alone. And we don't need to get into the technicalities of like, yeah, yes. It's just where's your energy coming from? Are you? I'm an extrovert. I love being around people. I come alive. I come alive if I'm around people. What music am I currently into? It's a very interesting question because it happened by accident. Okay, I'm going to explain. Technically, I only listen to Christian music. But hear me out. And yeah, God didn't like convict me, or it wasn't a decision I made. It happened by accident where I moved from using Deezer to Spotify. But the labor of transferring all my playlists from Deezer to Spotify or recreating them felt like too much for me. So I never did. Because like I had whole playlists. I had like a wash day playlist. I have like a Sunday, not a Sunday, Sunday I'm at church. A cleaning, right? Saturday morning cleaning, the flat playlist. And I had prayer, so it was diverse-ish. And then it just never happened when I moved over to Spotify. And that's how I started only listening to Christian music. Um, my faith journey, I think my faith journey, it's a longer story, but I think, let's say it officially, like my awareness and intentionality with walking with the Lord in being saved and so on started in 2013 in my first year. I had just came back uh, for the second semester, and that Sunday, I got saved with my brother, which is super special to both of us. But let me not speak for him. Special to me that I get to share that with him, and kind of what you say. And then I never looked back. Yes, I always used to listen when I was in the youth. Few years after I got saved, like the leaders would share their testimony, and then it would be like, yeah, so I got saved on this year and I never looked back. I just ran for Jesus. And now, how many years in? Now, and now 13 years in July. Yeah. Yeah, so that's where it began. And in terms of the ins and outs, I think as we unpack and continue on this journey on the podcast, I will share more about the ups, downs, the turns, and of my walk with Jesus. And where am I now in my faith journey? I don't think I could really give it a name, but I think I'm in a spot where I am finding my footing. in terms of making intentional movements to not be as shaken when trials come in my life. That I've been praying a lot to God to help me solidify, or rather like plant my feet in Him, right? I think of the scripture about building your house, a man who built his house on a rock, that when storms and floods and whatever things came, the house stood, right? Where I feel like in the past, my foundation, that the house I was building my foundation on, um, was on the sand. So when things would happen, um, yeah, it would shake me more than it should have if I was building on the correct foundation. So yeah, that's where I'm at in my faith right now. Yeah. So yeah, so I wanted to give a little bit of insight and background, and just say this is very high level, a little bit about me. And I'm excited to share. I hope you'll stick around to hear more. So, looking forward to seeing you in the official first episode of Walking with Jesus. I'm very nervous and very excited about it. And I'm curious. I think I'm very curious to see what God is going to do through it, how God will choose to breathe on it, and who it will have an impact on. So yeah. So that's it from me. I'll see you then.